Washington, teen climate change activist Greta Thunberg was one of the witnesses to testify this week before a joint hearing of two House committees on the global climate crisis. During the hearing, the 16-year-old Swede had a simple message for American lawmakers: do something. Instead of planning a lengthy opening statement to start the hearing, Thunberg simply offered a copy of the 2018 Global Warming Report by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change that emphasizes the dire threat that human-caused global warming poses, along with the climate and economic impacts. I am submitting this report as my testimony because I don't want you to listen to me, Thunberg told lawmakers. I want you to listen to the scientists. And I want you to unite behind the science. And then I want you to take real action. I want you to take action, Greta Thunberg testifies before Congress, calling the outspoken teen one of her favorite gutsy women. Hillary Clinton, former Secretary of State and the 2016 Democratic presidential nominee, encouraged her Twitter followers to join in the global climate strike set for Friday. At Greta Thunberg, one of my favorite gutsy women, will help lead global climate strikes that start tomorrow. I want you to act as if our house is on fire, she has said. Because it is. Join a strike near you. pic.twitter.com/nx66mlyswf Hillary Clinton, at Hillary Clinton, September 19, 2019 Tuesday. Thunberg met with former President Barack Obama during her visit to Washington, D.C., as part of an effort to lobby lawmakers on environmental issues and protest outside the White House. In a tweet, Obama called Thunberg one of the planet's greatest advocates. In a video of their short meeting released by the Obama Foundation, Thunberg says, "All of these young people in the United States seem so eager, very enthusiastic. Which is a very good thing. I mean, no one is too small to have an impact. Just 16, at Greta Thunberg is already one of our planet's greatest advocates." Recognizing that her generation will bear the brunt of climate change, she's unafraid to push for real action. She embodies our vision at the Obama Foundation, a future shaped by young leaders like her. pic.twitter.com/VGCPAADP3C Barack Obama, at Barack Obama, September 17, 2019 Thunberg, who is known for her bluntness, also told Democratic lawmakers at a Senate forum Tuesday to save your praise. "We don't want it," she added, "especially if officials intend to talk about climate change without doing anything about it. Please save your praise, we don't want it. Don't invite us here to tell us how inspiring we are without doing anything about it. It doesn't lead to anything." Today I and other young activists visited U.S. Congress. Tomorrow we return to give speeches. Greta Thunberg, at Greta Thunberg, September 17, 2019 She recently said during an interview with NPR that the United States has an enormous responsibility to lead climate efforts. "You have a moral responsibility to do that," she added, leading into Friday's global climate strike. Here are some of the things to know about the teen climate change activist. Thunberg first came to global attention with Fridays for Future, an international movement that began in 2018 when Thunberg, then age 15, started taking weeks off school to demonstrate outside the Swedish parliament to protest against inaction on climate change. She posted her protests on social media, and her postings went viral, inspiring thousands all over the world to protest their respective governments. View this post on Instagram. Paris. They say between 5,000 to 8,000 students marching here today. And tens of thousands around the world. Fridays for Future. School strike for climate. Climate strike. Youth for climate. A post shared by Greta Thunberg, at Greta Thunberg, on February 22, 2019 at 6:51 a.m. PST. She has encouraged other students to skip school to join protests demanding faster action on climate change. "We are facing a disaster of unspoken suffering for enormous amounts of people," Thunberg said at the World Economic Forum in Davos in January. "Solving the climate crisis is the greatest and most complex challenge that Homo sapiens have ever faced." Thunberg garnered international attention at the United Nations 24 Colombian Pesos Climate Summit in Poland last year, when she told assembled world leaders that they have ignored us in the past, and you will ignore us again, she said. You say you love your children above all else, and yet you are stealing their future in front of their very eyes. For 25 years, countless people have come to the UN climate conferences begging our world leaders to stop emissions, and clearly that has not worked as emissions are continuing to rise. So I will not beg the world leaders to care for our future, Thunberg said, at the December 2018 summit. I will instead let them know change is coming whether they like it or not. The climate talks that culminated at the summit resulted in nearly 200 nations agreeing to rules that will govern the Paris Climate Agreement. You are not mature enough to tell it like is, she said. Even that burden you leave to us children. But I don't care about being popular. I care about climate justice and the living planet. In Time magazine, Thunberg was featured as a next generation leader, and was on the magazine's 2019 100 list of the world's most influential people. In May of 2019, the teen activist was featured on the magazine's cover. Now I am speaking to the whole world. I'm on the cover of at Time magazine number Fridays for Future number School Strike for Climate number Climate Strike pic.twitter.com/n91kyt2sz7 Greta Thunberg, at Greta Thunberg, May 16, 2019. The world is listening. Organizers estimate that on March 15, a remarkable 1.6 million people in 133 countries participated in a climate strike inspired by Thunberg's solo action, the magazine's passage about her reads. Thunberg has been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for helping to inspire the international movement to fight climate change. If selected, the 16-year-old would be the youngest Nobel Peace Prize laureate since Malala Yousafzai. In August, Thunberg again captured global attention when she set off from Plymouth, United Kingdom, on a 2-week zero-emissions boat voyage across the Atlantic, to New York City. Thunberg popularized the movement of flygskam, or flight shaming, which asks Swedes to travel. According to their beliefs, Thunberg wouldn't fly to the U.S., ahead of the United Nations meeting on climate later this month because of emissions from air travel. Manhattan. pic.twitter.com/8sxpyk2wrk Greta Thunberg, at Greta Thunberg, August 28, 2019. It is insane that a 16-year-old would have to cross the Atlantic Ocean to make a stand, she said. The climate and ecological crisis is a global crisis, the biggest crisis that humanity has ever faced, and if we don't manage to work together and to cooperate and to work together despite our differences, then we will fail. In a post about haters who use her Asperger's diagnosis to try to diminish her activism, Thunberg called her autism a superpower. When haters go after your looks and differences, it means they have nowhere left to go. And then you know you're winning. I have Asperger's, and that means I'm sometimes a bit different from the norm. And, given the right circumstances, being different is a superpower. Number Aspie Power pic.twitter.com/a71qvbhwuu Greta Thunberg, at Greta Thunberg, August 31, 2019. When haters go after your looks and differences, it means they have nowhere left to go. And then you know you're winning. Thunberg wrote. I have Asperger's syndrome, and that means I'm sometimes a bit different from the norm. And given the right circumstances, being different is a superpower. She told The New Yorker, I see the world a bit different, from another perspective. I have a special interest. It's very common that people on the autism spectrum have a special interest. She is helping lead a massive coordinated strike on Friday, September 20th, just days before the United Nations will gather for the Climate Action Summit, where Thunberg is also set to speak. This article originally appeared on USA Today. Greta Thunberg, 6 Things to Know About the Climate Change Activist.